So what is integration and what does it mean to me personally? So first off, I'm going to start off by telling you about integration. And I'm going to start off by telling you what integration is not. A lot of people believe that integration is the process of taking teachings from plant medicines and learning from them. And although that's not false, I think there's a better definition. I don't think people who have taken plant medicines are the only ones that need integration coaching. Integration is the process of taking complex teachings and adding them into your daily life so you can move forward more practiced, more wise, and more readily and easily able to take on the challenges that are in front of you. Now, a lot of times that does come with plant medicines because one of the most common ways that people will get presented with these complex teachings is through plant medicines. But you can come to these complex teachings through yoga, through meditation, through any other combination, and there are limitless combinations of personal practices. So the idea behind integration is that it is some combination of journaling, somatic work, talk therapy, and kind of everything in between. So the direct approach for any individual is going to be different. One person, journaling might be the perfect approach. For something else, or for someone else, the best approach might be talking it out with someone. And for many others, it's going to be somewhere in between. And there are many other options there. So whenever I start working with someone or helping them through their integrative process, the first thing that I do is I try to figure out where is it that they are and what do they personally need the most help with. So the sessions can look very different. However, that's the pretty general expression of what integration is and how to do it. Now, I can give you a few specifics like journaling and meditation, but what's going to be right for you, I can't really go through them all in this video. That's something that you're going to need to find either in a private space with me as a client or in the group course that I have put together, whether you're watching this now in the course or you're thinking about joining the course. That's really where you'll start to get those pieces. But what does integration mean to me personally? Now, that's a great question. So throughout my path with plant medicines, and it's been about 7 years that I've been dealing with plant medicines. That's the first time that I ever took plant medicine, not necessarily helping other people with their plant medicine ceremonies. However, for about 7 years, I've been dealing with plant medicines. That's a large portion of my life. And throughout those years, I've come across some pretty major challenges, but I've also watched other people come across pretty major challenges. And I'm not going to lie. In the very beginning of drinking ayahuasca and taking other plant medicines to work through what I needed to work through, I was not doing a good job integrating. Honestly, the wheels came off. I got more depressed, I got irrational, I started making decisions that I shouldn't have made, and I got pretty self-destructive. And that's because, well, when you take plant medicines or when you are going throughout life and you learn something new and you know that it's better, but you don't take the time to actually integrate it into your life, you'll get mad at yourself. If I know, for example, that I hate it when my room's dirty, but I never clean my room, every time I walk into my room and it's dirty, I'm going to be upset with myself. I'm going to get angrier and angrier with myself. And I know that's a very small piece, but it's a metaphor for a much larger issue. When you're dealing with complex things like which friends and boundaries should I set and not set, that's when things get a lot more difficult. You know you need more boundaries, but you don't know where to put them. So the wheels kind of came off for me, and I quickly realized I need to figure my way out of this, and I didn't know how. So I started working with an integration coach. At the same time, I was studying psychology, clinical psychology, forensic psychology, and abnormal psychology, all kind of smashed together with some pre-med in there as well. And I learned a lot about the integrative process and how to work through it. I spent years learning a lot about all of that stuff. And it's finally come together to the point where I can provide life-changing results for people. But I should be more clear. They're the ones doing the work. I'm just kind of helping them along the process. Anyone is capable of doing their own integration. However, there comes a point where we have to notice or recognize when we can't anymore. And that's what I did years ago. And I started working with someone. From there, I started to notice all the people who weren't integrating well. I watched them as they did their self-destructive attitudes, and actions, whether it was literal self-destruction, like quitting their job preemptively and not really having any preparation, or a little bit less so, where they just kept taking plant medicine and adding fuel to the fire, but not actually having any way to manage it. So the importance of the importance of integration slowly, well, rather quickly, became very apparent to me. And from there, I started taking on roles where I led integration for groups and private clients. I've probably led integration for, I want to say, over 1,500, 2,000 people at this point, a mixture of group and private clients. Personally, I think the integration is far more important than the plant medicines. I think you can get to the same places that you do with plant medicines with integration and private practice. However, some people want to get there quicker, and you can do that with plant medicines, but I will tell you, there's no shortcut. Plant medicine isn't a shortcut. You're doing the same amount of work, you're just doing it much faster. You're putting your car driving 120 down the highway instead of 60 where you're supposed to be. Comes with a host of problems, things you have to deal with and work out. But integration is a very important part of life that I think a lot of people are missing out on. If you're interested in joining the group, or you already have, I'm looking forward to it. And if you want to work with me privately, one-on-one, there's a few different ways you can go and do that. If you're in the group, you can go into, there will be a place in my bio where you can click a link to start working with me privately, or on my YouTube, in my bio on my YouTube, there's a link tree and you can click the private integration link. Regardless, whether you're just watching or you're interested in working with me, I can't wait to see you soon.